When I launched my insurance brokerage in roughly 2021, I had 0 leads and 0 traffic and 0 people coming to my website. And I built out this whole fancy automation, online quoting, online needs analysis application, all that on my website. And I thought that once that was built, I would just have like droves of traffic and customers coming to my website and buying life insurance from me. But that couldn't be further from the truth. And so over the last 4 years, I've been able to scale that brokerage from $0 a month to 6 figures and beyond. $10,000 a month, etc. And I'm going to show you today in this video exactly what I did to scale that business from 0 leads to, anywhere from 10 to 35 or 40 clients per month. What is up, guys? For those of you who do not know me, my name is Philip Setter. I've been in the insurance industry since 2014, and I've been able to scale my insurance brokerage fully online to 6 figures consistently per year. I've also launched PolicyStream, which is a software where we allow other advisors and brokers to use the same system that I've used in my brokerage on their online website as well. If you want more details, I'll put that in the description below. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. Step number 1 for trying to scale any insurance brokerage, whether you're selling insurance or financial planning or disability or CI or whatever type of product it is, I would say this is one of the important things to focus on. And when I first got started in the insurance industry, I was afraid to narrow down on one niche because I thought that if I narrowed down, then I would exclude all the other people. I didn't want to say like, oh, hey, I sell life insurance to, dentists or doctors, because then I thought, well, what if someone else sees that and then they'll think it's not for them? However, if you sell to everyone, you sell to no one. If you're just marketing your services to the entire world, no one is going to connect with your message and it's going to be very difficult to try and craft a message that's actually applicable to everybody. So before we even get into like funnels and systems and traffic and all of those other things that are of course important to driving revenue in your business, you need to try and figure out and narrow down on one niche that you want to target. And now here's the thing, because again, even in my own business, I say, oh, but there's like, I want to target this person, I want to target that person over there. You don't need to pick only one. You can have multiple different niches that you target. And the way that you would do this is you could build out different landing pages and then direct traffic to the specific landing page, where you're pushing that traffic. However, you do want to try and create like some niche, like some target market that you're looking at. And I'm just going to explain what works for me in my business, and then you can think about what works for you in business. For me, I do a lot of climbing. So I'm a rock climber, ice climber, backcountry skier. I'm always in the mountains. I do a lot of alpine climbing. So that was like a no-brainer that I could connect with that niche and that market because I'm also in that market. It's really easy for me to create content for that market. I'm out there climbing. I can take photos while I'm climbing. I can take photos and videos, and I can build my Instagram and make a YouTube channel and make posts about it, and interact with that community and partner with those organizations because I'm so heavily involved with that community. So in your own life, you need to try and think of like, what niche do you want to work with? And of course, it doesn't have to be one that you're directly involved in. You could say, I want to target doctors, for example, and you could try and learn all that you know about doctors. However, it really is easier when you're working in a niche that you're also connected in, because then you can relate to them because you are them. And this could be something as simple as just, a father. You're a father or you're a mother. You have children. You can connect with other families. Or it could be something as complicated or, as narrowed down as like, I don't know, I'm a specific golfer at a community course or some type of course, and I have this rating. And so I really want to connect to people in like this niche of people that golf, at this handicap level. Whatever it is, obviously it's easier if you're engaged in that community so you can resonate with them. But whatever it is, you need to decide on some target demographic and some target market so you can start to craft a message that's specific to that group. Okay, so once you've actually chosen a group that you want to work with, or a market or a demographic or whatever it is, and I'm sure I'll make more videos, in the future, and we can like really do a deep dive into how to pick a target market, but let's just kind of gloss over it for now, and we can do some additional videos in the future. Once you have that target market, now you need to build a landing page or website or whatever it is, a message that's specific to that target market. And there's a few different ways that you can do this. So the framework that I use is something known as VPC, which is Value Proposition Canvas. There's a book by Strategizer. I can try and link it or find it for you guys. Another easy way to do this would just be to go into ChatGPT, and it knows what VPC is. So if you go into ChatGPT and you say, hey, can you build me out a VPC, which is Value Proposition Canvas, for this specific clientele, it can spit out a bunch of things that's very specific to that group. But VPC is basically a framework for building out what are the actual jobs that you're trying to accomplish for a target demographic or a group. What are the pains that they have, and what are the gains that they can achieve by, using your solution or your product? So life insurance, financial planning, disability, critical illness, whatever it is, you want to build out the specific messaging and content for that demographic. You don't want to have this like generic, we have peace of mind and, you can buy life insurance and blah, blah, blah. That's generic. That's on every single advisor website across the world. However, once you know the target market that you want to work with, for example, again, for me, I'm always going to go back to this. I'm probably going to go back to this like 100 times in different videos. For me, it's climbing. And so I can relate quite well to that demographic, and I know the messaging that I need to craft that. So it's like, hey, if you want to buy life insurance for climbing, I know that example, when I go out and I go climbing, I accept a risk that something could happen to me in the mountains. However, I can rest easy and assured that I've already checked off all the things that I need to do. So if something did happen to me, I'm not leaving a huge mess behind, for my family and for my loved ones to take care of financially and will-wise. And also on the website, I have pictures of climbers, and I have pictures, doing climbing things in the mountains, and I've crafted the messaging for that specific demographic. So once you've decided on a niche, now you need to build out this landing page or web page where it's specific to this niche. And again, that's going to be through that framework that I mentioned. So Value Proposition Canvas, identifying what jobs you actually are completing for them, what pains you're taking away, and what gains you're giving them. And then also creating images and pictures and things that, like, when they go to that website, they feel like you're talking to them. They feel at home on your website. Like, does that make sense? They're going on there and they're like, oh, okay, I'm a golfer, and this guy golfs, and now he's got golfing photos, and he understands, if you get injured, you can't golf. I'm just giving you an example there, but make it super specific to that demographic. And when they land on that web page, they feel like this guy is talking exactly to me. Okay, so step 3, now that you've got your website set up and it has all the nice pictures and everything and the images and the jobs and the pains and all that stuff, now you need to come up with a lead magnet. And I mean, this is like tried and true marketing, since the beginning of time, since the beginning of marketing. This is through something known as a lead magnet. So a lead magnet is essentially some type of value that you're giving to that individual in exchange for their email. So this could be like a number of different things. On my websites, I give a needs analysis where they have to put in their email to see the results of the needs analysis, and then I grab their email. That's a really easy way, but there's also many other ways that you can do it, and you could create it very specific, to that target demographic. So, I'm just spitballing here. I just have some examples. If you're really into golf and you want to, try and advertise to golfers, maybe you could create like a checklist or something like top 10 reasons why golfers need disability insurance because, if something happens, you can't golf or blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Come up with something, or what you need to do to stay active or whatever it is. You come up with like some type of specific lead magnet that would be of value to them. But however you build it out, essentially, you want to have your page, you want to have all your offers, you want to have the jobs you're completing and the pains and the gains, but then you need to have some way to collect their email, because we're going to lead into step 4. It's step 4, where we're going to automate that follow-up, but we need to get that email because that's going to be our way to market to them and slowly bring them down the funnel where we convert them into a cold lead that doesn't know you, to slowly nurturing them, to finally knowing who you are, nurturing them down the path and leading them into a converted sale. So however it is that you structure it, the lead magnet needs to be set up. It can be specific to that target demographic. It makes it a little bit easier, but it could be as simple, with our software policy stream, we have the needs analysis built out in there and you can put it in and they have the email that comes out. If you have something similar on your own website where the client can perform a needs analysis or something similar and you grab their email, that's going to be a great way to start building this list. Which leads me to step number 4, which is now get a CRM and use it. Okay, get the CRM and use it and start to build out some of those automations. The first automations that you're going to build out in that CRM is, of course, those email nurture campaigns. I've built my entire business off email nurture campaigns. I've been using email marketing since like 2006 2016, I think. I was going to networking events, back in 2016. And I would be grabbing people's cards, like physical cards, coming home, emailing them and saying like, hey, would you mind if I added you to my newsletter? And then I would be adding them into my email marketing campaigns and systems. And they would get all these follow-up emails. And that's how I built all of my businesses, actually. Like every single business that I've done since I started in the world of business, I have built through email marketing. So, I mean, yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. If you're not using a CRM already, like that's insane. It's like 2025 at this point. You need to get a CRM specifically for email marketing. Of course, there's all the other features that you can do with it. So get a CRM, start to use that. A few things that are really easy to build out like right away is an email nurture campaign. So this could be as simple as something like, they do a needs analysis on your website, or they download a free PDF, a little checklist or something like that. And then you just send them an email 1 week later that says like, hey, just want to check in. How are things going? Did you read this checklist? Did you find some value of it? Oh, let me tell you something else here. If you're looking for life insurance, here's the difference between term life insurance and permanent life insurance. Great. Okay, cool. I'll talk to you next week. And then wait 1 week. And then 1 week later, hey, just wanted to touch base again. Did you know about this other exciting topic that I want to talk about? Did you know mortgage insurance versus life insurance? Here's the difference. And here's why you maybe want to cancel your mortgage insurance and get an actual life insurance policy. So these little nurture campaigns over time are going to slowly start to traffic those people or funnel those people down from just a cold lead that they went on your website from some traffic source. And we're going to get into that here in a second, to actually finally becoming a converted lead. However, there's a whole list of other things that you can do with your CRM. I'm just going to read off a list here, just like a couple, bang, 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 bang. So reminders for check-in. So if you have clients that you need to check in with for whatever reason, you can set all those reminders up. SMS follow-ups for warm leads. You can send out text messages with these CRMs. Just say, hey, I saw that you were interested in, you kind of started the application, or you downloaded this PDF. I'd love to chat. Here's my phone number. Reach out if you want something. Tasks to follow up after a certain amount of time. So you can assign yourself a task within this CRM, different automations, or you can say, hey, client, or I have a lead that comes in, and after a certain period of time, he's been opening up my emails, but he hasn't replied. Maybe you can set yourself a task to just call him up, say, call this client and just see what's happening. Is he ready to buy? Does he want to talk about anything? Is he on the fence? Is he just curious? What is it? And then also, I think one of the more important things is calendar integration. And so within, the CRM that I use, and also the policy stream system that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the calendar integration is quite important to have that link in all your nurture emails. So that just says like, hey, do you want more information? Just book a call with me. And then have that link, go to some type of calendar that's integrated with your existing calendar. So there's not like duplicate bookings and, that there's some type of conflict there. But then you're just automatically getting those bookings for warm leads that want more information, because you're trying to drive as much traffic into this one funnel and then email nurture them. And then, at the bottom of every email, they can book a call with you. So it's like, hey, do you want more information? Do you want to have like a one-on-one with me? Let's do that. Let's start the conversation. Then once you're on the phone with them, you can start to dive a little bit deeper and get them from a warm lead to finally a sale. Okay, so far we've talked a lot about just setting up a lot of these automations and the website and the target demographic and all that. But you're probably wondering, it's like, okay, Philip, that's great, but how do I get people to the website? Like, how do I actually drive traffic to this, funnel and have people, get engaged and get on the email list and slowly convert over time, etc. So here's the thing. The old saying where if you build it, they will come is dead. In modern marketing, it's if you build it and you market the shit out of it, they will come. So this is how we do marketing in the 21st century, especially with online marketing. I'm going to share what's worked for me in my business, and hopefully it can work for you as well. So the number one source of traffic, especially organic traffic into your website, and that's going to be building up that email nurture list, is going to be content marketing. And so, you can talk about all these different platforms and different things. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, etc. Here's the thing. Every single one of these platforms will work. The problem that I see advisors and lots of people doing is two things. Number one, they'll try it for a little bit, maybe 3 to 6 months, and then they'll stop. And then they say, LinkedIn doesn't work, or Twitter doesn't work, or Facebook doesn't work, or, YouTube is dead. It doesn't work anymore. And that's not the case. It's just you're failing to be consistent for a long enough period of time to actually make it work. So that's the first thing that I see advisors making mistakes of. And the second thing is trying to do everything. So they say, I need to get online. So I need to have a YouTube YouTube channel and a LinkedIn and a Twitter and a Pinterest, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then they try and do a little bit in each one. They kind of suck at everything. They're not good at any of them. They're okay at all of them. And then in doing so, they don't see any success in any of them. Where I saw the most success in my business, in my insurance brokerage, was video content marketing through YouTube. So this is my advice for content marketing. Pick one thing that you want to do, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. It can be YouTube, it can be LinkedIn, it can be SEO, writing blog posts, it could be video content marketing, and you could pick a platform that you want to put it on. It could be Facebook, it could be whatever. It doesn't matter. Pick one thing and go all in on this one thing. Devote the next year of your life to being consistent with it and having a schedule and posting on that schedule every time, and also learning along the way, which is a big thing. You need to learn what works, tweak it, figure it out, change it, and continue to evolve and adapt as you move forward. So for me personally, like I said, video content marketing was huge. Now here's the thing, you can focus all in on one platform. However, you can still repurpose that content for all the other platforms. So for example, again, for me, it was video content marketing and it was YouTube. So I went all in on YouTube and I posted 8 long form videos per month, and I think 10 to 20 short form videos per month. And I did that consistent for 1 year straight. 8 long form videos, which is anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, and then whatever the shorts, little TikToks. But then I also would repurpose that content for all the other platforms. So I had Facebook, I had Instagram, I had LinkedIn, I had TikTok, and I would take all the shorts and I'd repurpose that. And then I would also take the long form content and I would make a post about it in those different groups. So you can still post to all those other different platforms, not groups, pardon me, but platforms, but you're focusing on one specific content platform, one specific, I don't want to say niche, but one, specific marketing play, whatever it is, content play. So if it's going to be blogs, you're all in on blogs. If it's going to be video content marketing, you're all in on that. And it's going to be on YouTube, for example. So for content marketing, pick one, and I'm going to make, don't worry, I'm going to make way more videos about this. So if you're interested in more videos about specifically video content marketing, just comment below and say more video content marketing, and I will start hammering on those videos. But pick one specific content piece and go all in on that. Number 2 for driving traffic to your website is partnerships. So here's the thing. Every single insurance professional or financial advisor, whatever it is going after the exact same partnership. So mortgage brokers, financial planners, accountants, they're all going to them saying, hey, can you refer me business? And what if I give you a referral fee and blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing. Everyone is going for them. They get tons of people coming to them every single month. They're probably either A, already working with someone, or B, they get pestered so much they don't want anything to do with it. Especially if you're a new advisor, pardon me, in the industry, or relatively new, they don't know if you're going to be around. They're not going to refer their clients to you. So this is where I've seen the most success for partnerships, is not those like regular, you can still try and partner with those people. I'm not saying that you can't, but if you actually start to narrow down on a target market, any niche, now all of a sudden your partnerships can be very specific where no one's ever approached them. No insurance brokers ever went to them and said like, hey, can we have a partnership? Like, can you refer me people and we can, work out a deal or whatever it is? Because chances are, if it's a niche group, it's not something that's relatively known in the financial space. So I'll give you an example. In my insurance business, again, I'm always going to go back to this. I do a lot of climbing, rock climbing, ice climbing, backcountry skiing. So when I built out my market specific to that group, I looked at those partnerships, and those partnerships were different climbing groups around Canada, search and rescue groups around Canada, organizations for alpine, and different groups in that community. And so I went to them and I said, hey, would you be interested in a partnership for life insurance for your members? And they were like, yeah, that's an amazing idea. Like, why didn't I ever think about that? Because they had never been approached before, because no insurance broker is just like waking up one day thinking like, hey, I should partner with, this specific climbing group, for example. And you could take that niche into anything, like golf, for example. How many insurance brokers are approaching golf associations or golf stores or sports stores to try and work out some type of partnership with those groups? It just doesn't happen as often. Whereas mortgage brokers, financial planners, accountants, etc., they get pestered like probably 1 or 2 times per week, every single week, by a financial professional. So you can still go after those. However, building the partnerships in a niche market will be way easier for you and way more valuable. Okay, step number 6, you want to track what is working and double down on that effort. So here's the thing. Now that you've got a few traffic sources going, like I mentioned, the content marketing as well as the partnerships, you need to see where all your traffic is coming from. So how I set this up, in my own business is you can use little URL trackers. So I use Bitly, for example. I put Bitly links on everything to see where traffic is coming from. I also have Google Analytics on my website. Once you start to get an idea of where people are actually coming from, you want to then look at that and double down on whatever that traffic source is. So if you can see that, 50 people a month are coming from LinkedIn, but 500 people a month are coming from YouTube, double down on YouTube, just go all in on that. If you see one partnership is doing like 10, piece of traffic, traffic visits per month to your website, and the other one is doing 100, go back to them and say like, hey, how can we expand this partnership out? Is there more sources that we can do? Can I be in a magazine? Can I sponsor, whatever, a hole-in-one? Can I come to your store and do this? Whatever it is that's working, double down on that and expand it and make that better. So in conclusion, a quick recap of everything that I put out here today. First, you want to build a system that can actually nurture those clients down the road and automate all those low value tasks that really are just wasting your time so you can focus on the high value tasks. That's the first thing. The second thing is you don't know what's going to work until you try it. So you might be adverse to video content marketing or blogs or whatever it is, but maybe you'll actually enjoy it once you start getting into it. And you're really not going to know what sticks until you just kind of throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. When I first started marketing, I was just throwing random things around and doing everything till I started to see what actually worked. And then I just double down on those efforts. And number 3, whatever you decide to do, you need to stay consistent for at least minimum 1 year. You're not going to see results right away. You can't just launch a YouTube channel. Like this YouTube channel, for example, that I'm doing right now, I don't expect to see results for at least 1 year. Hopefully it'll be sooner than that, but I'm not expecting to see anything for 1 year. And I'm committed to making videos every single month for the next year to build up that. So whatever you decide to do, be consistent for 1 year. And the last thing, start with one niche, focus on that. And then once that works, you can expand to other niches. So with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys have any questions, drop it below. And as always, if you guys enjoyed today's content, all I ask is you give it a thumbs up and I'll see you guys in the next one.